Hello. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. Welcome to your Witchcraft Winter Folklore live stream with your Daughters of Qayin. As you can see, we're wearing our festive best for you. Yes, we are. My name is Jasmine. This is my channel. We do witchcraft stuff. And this is my guest.
And I'm Australia.
And this is Daughters of Qayin.
So yeah, we've got lots of winter folklore and fun stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, and just like, it's winter, right? Like, we're going to get to wintering, okay? I already got a new tree, which I might post a picture of it. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I kind of went overboard with it. It's a lot. You might have to look at my Instagram to see like the tree, because I showed Australia earlier and I was like, okay, please don't be intimidated. I understand that this is like really grandiose. And it shook her. She was shook, you guys.
I was shook. Shooketh.
Hello, Alvine, Nocturnal, Perks Bear, Raven, Blood, Sweat, and Steel. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everybody.
I hope that all of you are having a bright solstice season. I got together last night with some of the SCC Coven, and we did our winter solstice ritual. We did some caroling. I don't know if any of you saw that, like blessing your timelines with the vocals. Hi, Cheyenne. So what are your plans for winter solstice?
Probably gonna do stuff with the kid. For those that don't know, I am a mother. I have a child. A mother. I'm probably gonna do some fun stuff with my kid. Truthfully, I like a nice quiet solstice, so I'll probably do like some kind of private, like bringing the light back into the world sort of ritual kind of thing, you know, something very
the
like
light of the world.
Something like light some candles and like think about all of the abundance that's coming in the spring.
Right.
Yeah. Probably something like that. And then of course we do like regular Christmassy stuff. So like we'll open gifts and, you know, kiddo will go crazy.
There is something I think nostalgic about Christmas for me, you know, talking about the kids, that I feel like, I don't know, it's giving, what is that? Polar Express, like that movie. That is such a cute movie. And like, the Polar Express and like the hot cocoa and like sitting up by the fireplace. And like, I remember we would, growing up, we would unwrap like a present on Christmas Eve. And normally our Christmas Eve present was like pajamas and like hot cocoa stuff. And then we would always watch a movie. Like the Polar Express was usually like the tradition where we would watch that. There's something magical about like being a kid, or I think having kids and experiencing sort of like the magic of like Merry Crisis, you know, like it's, and then also too, I saw this meme on Facebook that had like all of the stereotypical Lifetime like movies where it's like, you know, small town country, and like they're usually very heteronormative couple pairings, and like one of them is like a big executive who like goes back home to visit family and like falls in love with like the quaint single mom who's like a barista at like the local coffee shop, and like she just loves her town and loves her community.
I won't lie, I really kind of want to see the new Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie because I heard it's actually really good.
I didn't even know that there was one.
Yeah, she's got a new Christmas movie. It came out just this year. I can't remember what it's called, but I've heard good things. I've heard it's funny.
Comment down below if you want a Daughters of Qayin review of the Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie.
Not exactly witchy, but it could be fun.
Allegedly not.
Allegedly.
Yeah, my plans, I already got together with the Coven for winter solstice, and we kind of did our ritual and like our thing. And we have some pretty big customs in our Coven that we participate in at winter solstice that really kind of shape the rest of the year. So a lot of really good stuff. And then like, as far as more of the secular Christmas, because like we don't really celebrate Christmas it's a very secular holiday for us. We'll probably go up to my Gram's house and do like a dinner and like unwrapping gifts and all of that. So that's really all my plans there. And then celebrating Shaba Yaldas, but like we're kind of doing that later. We're doing that in January. It's really like a winter solstice tea, but we're doing it more like after the new year, like we did last year. And like that's really fun. I enjoy doing that a lot. And I like having you on and seeing Sid and, you know, everybody watching at home, like the whole live ritual with like the Hafiz. Like it's a vibe. It's a moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. One tradition that I do that I have had since I was little is I will likely end up going over to my mother's house because usually I will go over there and we will watch several versions of A Christmas Carol because there's several that we like. So we'll watch like one or two, like 2 or 3 different versions of A Christmas Carol. And we'll probably drink like boozy Christmas mimosas. And usually she reads "Twas the Night Before Christmas." She's done that every year since I was a kid. I think I read it last year, actually. So I don't know. I might end up reading it to her this year. We'll see. But yeah, that's usually a tradition I have with my mom. And then I go home and then I come back the next day. After I've done Christmas with my family here, I'll go to my mom's because she lives like 5 minutes down the road from me. And I'll do stuff with her.
I love it. Like, I love putting up the tree, which I was kind of being like a jokester earlier. The tree that I put up this year, you guys, is like literally this big. Like,
it's cute. It's really cute.
It's really cute. I feel like I've outdone myself. No, I'm kidding. But the tree is adorable. I love to put up a big tree, but I had pneumonia earlier in November. And so normally I put up my tree before Thanksgiving. Like, I'm one of those people who have the Christmas tree up during Thanksgiving. And because I wasn't able to do that like I normally would, I feel like it's too late at this point. I don't want to go through all that work of putting the tree up just to have it up for 3 weeks. Because even though I put it up early, I like to take mine down like the day after New Year's Day or on New Year's Day.
Well, did you know there's folklore behind that?
Let's talk about it. Since we're in a folklore live stream.
Right. So one of the things that I've always been kind of a big proponent of is not putting my tree up too early. I think the best day to put a tree up is the day after Thanksgiving, personally. I haven't done that yet this year because I've been lazy.
So Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday, put up your tree. You should, according to folklore, you should take your tree down after the new year. Now, for pagans and witches, that is kind of a nebulous time because like some pagans and witches say that the new year starts with Samhain, some say it starts after the winter solstice. So it's kind of a nebulous sort of thing about when the witch's new year actually is. I
was going to say too, I don't want to interrupt you there, but I was going to add on to that and say I've also seen some more like astrologers really not celebrate the new year until the sun enters the first degree of Aries at the spring equinox, like the astrological celestial new year. Right. So there's so many new years that we kind of have sprinkled in here.
But I still leave it up to your interpretation about when the new year starts. But because, you know, we live in the US, for us, New Year's is January 1st. The folklore is after the new year starts, take your tree down. Because if you leave your tree up, especially if it's a real tree, if you leave your tree up, you invite the fae to come into your home and cause chaos. So like when I have friends who leave their trees up for months after Christmas, I'm like, you need to take that down. And they're like, why? I love it. And I'm like, have you had a lot of weird bad luck in your house? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, because you invited the fae into your home because you left your tree up.
It's also just a matter of like, take it down.
Take it down.
Take it down. Don't keep that up. You got to go into the new year. Like, okay, people, we know about spring cleaning. We've heard of her. We get her. We know her. We know who she is. We know what she's about. It's not just in the spring, though. Like, I feel like every time we have a major seasonal shift, like spring, summer, fall, winter, cleaning. Like, one of the things that I like to do for the new year is go into the new year with a clean house. To me, that's really important. I feel like that kind of like sets the stage for like mind, body, spirit wellness. As someone who is neurospicy, like my environment greatly impacts my mental health. And so like going into the new year without my house kind of in order, it almost feels like I'm setting myself up preemptively. We can't have that, girl.
I will say that in my household, we kind of keep Halloween stuff up all year round. But like, it's not like an obnoxious amount. Like my room, I have Halloween decorations if you just can't see them. But
we're witches. So.
Yeah. But I do have friends who keep certain Christmassy type things up all year, but not like a whole tree, you know? Blood, Sweat, and Steel asked, have either of you heard the modern folk story of how the angel got on top of the tree?
I have not.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that because I've not heard that story.
Yeah, I have not.
But we do have a lot of really interesting folklore to talk about today. And I thought we could start off, since this is a channel about witchcraft and witches, that we could start.
Oh my God, it is?
It is, yeah. Wait, before we get into this, can we talk about you wanting to go to a Catholic Mass?
I do.
But, okay.
I do. I posted on Facebook, you guys, and I was like, where are my Catholic friends? I want to go to a midnight Mass. I want to have a Catholic theater moment. I want to do it.
I think that's fine. But like, what she described to me, I have never seen in a Catholic Mass service ever. Like she's talking about, you know, like with the candles and the swaying. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I've been to a Christian Catholic Mass and I don't remember a lot of candles. I mean, there were candles, obviously, because the Catholics love the theater. But like, I don't remember like holding candles and swaying and like, our God is an awesome, like nothing like that.
I want really bad Christian karaoke. Like,
that is a thing.
I want to do it. Okay, so we're starting off with.
I thought we'd start off with La Befana.
Okay. And I just so happen, you guys. Oh, there she is.
Isn't she cute? So, La Befana is a piece of beautiful Italian folklore. La Befana literally translates out to the witch, but she is oftentimes referred to as the Christmas witch. And her holiday and coming to, well, it's not really her holiday, but she is associated with the holiday, is actually after our modern Christmas. So on January 6th, there is an Italian holiday known as Epiphany, which is a celebration of the three wise men or the three magi who traveled yonder to go bless the baby Jesus with gifts. And on their way, they got lost and they found a cabin or a shack, a hut, a yurt. I don't know. They found some kind of thing out in the middle of nowhere, a home, a dwelling. And they were met by La Befana, or Befana. And, you know, she's oftentimes denoted as like a kindly older woman who wants to bring like nuts and candies and little toys to little boys and girls. And also, if you look at her description, she actually meets a lot of what we know today as like classical Halloween witch. She's got like a long nose. She's got like a more protruding hook-like chin. But there is a cautionary tale around this with La Befana, where like basically it's similar to Santa Claus, where it's be good if you want to have bounty on Epiphany.
Okay.
So if the little boys and girls aren't good, they're not having a bountiful Epiphany. You know, we want to have that bountiful Epiphany.
Do you see this image of her middle row, far left?
Oh, yeah.
She's an icon, and I think she might be part of this community.
I definitely think she's part of this community.
She's holding it down for the dolls.
But she's not the only Christmas witch, which is the part that I find interesting. She is definitely probably the more benevolent appearing of the Christmas witches, if you ask me.
Well, let me ask you this, since we're, you know, looking at this from this sort of folkloric ATW sort of perspective, and like that's kind of what we're doing per Daughters of Qayin. working with spirits and folklore, because I think it's very much true to say that La Befana would be a spirit. This would be part of not mythology, because she's not really like a deity. She's very much like a spirit, right?
I would think so.
Like, would you deify her? Because she feels more like, I don't know, more like spirit of the land almost to me.
I don't know if I would deify her, but I do feel like it would be cool to do like a ritual of like asking La Befana for a bountiful epiphany. I mean, even though we don't celebrate Epiphany, actually, it's funny. You watched the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, right?
Yeah.
They have an episode where they have something called Witch Epiphany.
So what is the Epiphany?
Well, you know what? Let's find out, because I'm not super familiar with Epiphany. Like I said, I know it's a feast day, and it's a feast day in celebration
Jesus.
of the three magi, or the three wise men who went to give Jesus gifts.
Okay.
So I guess you could change that into something like, it could be a day where you celebrate the archetypes of the mother, maiden, and crone, if that's your thing, because then you still
the
that
magi, like the three magi who brought baby Jesus gifts, like magi is really just like, they're basically like priests. They're like Persian priests.
Yeah.
So like the magi would be priests who used magic. Isn't that where we get like magic from? Isn't there like a relation there, I think?
Well, I mean, that's where we get the word mage from. You know, when we talk about mages and wizards, there is that idea that these men might have been some sort of practitioners of magic, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, just to get rid of the stigma that exists, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a witch who celebrates Christian holidays. There are plenty of witches who blend Christianity into their practice. So, and Catholicism, let's be real. Catholicism is basically ceremonial magic.
Right. They're basically pagans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that like I'm all for taking those holidays and using them if you're in your craft if you want to, or like I think the idea of kind of blaspheming them or tweaking them to fit you too. Like if we're celebrating the magi, if we're celebrating magic, like it could be a feast day of celebrating magic, and maybe even like asking like La Befana to like bless our magics for the year, like make our magics more fruitful and abundant. Like,
yeah, I think that would be a great idea. I think that sounds really, really cool.
What would we offer her? What is she like?
I mean, so in the stuff that I've read, it says that she likes to bring children things like figs and fruit and nuts and little toys.
Same. I like figs and fruits and nuts too. So.
Right. So maybe those things would be good offerings for her. And, I don't know why we couldn't offer her the same things we offer Santa Claus, like offer her some cookies, offer her a glass of milk. Maybe she needs some milk.
Oh my gosh, we should get like, okay, so maybe during like Halloween, we can get one of those like little cheapy hags and like create like a little shelf on the wall and have like a little La Befana like shrine and like, get her a little tea light and be like, Grandma La Befana, bless my epiphany of my magics. May my magic ever be abundant and fruitful. Thank you very much. Here's a tea light and a little whiskey.
I love that idea. I think that's great. I think
so that's how we're working with La Befana.
I think that'd be fun. Yeah.
I want everyone to post on Instagram and tag me in their La Befana altars.
You could probably go on Amazon and find yourself a little Halloween-y hag, like little witch lady. I wonder if you can find like little Christmas witches. I'm sure that has to be a thing, right?
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure you could probably like splurge and actually get like a La Befana like idol if you really wanted to.
That would be cute.
I'm just constantly thinking of how we do it on a dime.
Now I kind of want to do it. Like I want to do it before Christmas and before January 6th, because I think that would be really cute. I think that's a really cool idea.
See if like, working with La Befana, she can like enhance our magical, prowess and like abundance throughout the year by like paying her the respects on the Epiphany.
But the question is, Jasmine, have you been naughty or nice?
I'm going to have to invoke the fourth pillar here. I'm going to have to invoke the fourth.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fourth power.
So down in the comments.
Also, please, everyone, go get you a beverage.
Yeah,
Please.
get a beverage. I'm lame. I have Pepsi as usual.
I have urine. No, I'm kidding. This isn't urine. This is just white wine.
Urine of the horsefly. I love that line from the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movie with Anne Hathaway, where they're making the eat me stuff or the drink me stuff, and she's like, urine of the horsefly.
That's exactly what that is.
Probably.
Who do we have next?
Whale. The Midwestern's coming out.
Whale.
Whale. We have another Christmas witch, but this one hails from the Alpine regions of southern Germany and Austria. And I'm probably going to butcher this because I don't speak German or Austrian. But Frau Perchta.
How do we spell her name?
Her name is Perchta. So Frau, Frau. Frau Perchta. I guess I could pull up Google Translate.
Perch.
Perchta. And she is listed in.
I totally was butchering her name.
Right. In this article, she's listed as the terrifying Christmas witch because, you know, she's a little bit more similar to Krampus. If you're a good child, she will appear to you as a Christmas time goddess who wants to bless you with all kinds of good things and gifts and such. But if you're a bad child, she comes to you as a horrifying Christmas witch.
She's honestly gorgeous.
Isn't she though? She also bears a resemblance, I guess, in certain aspects to the Scandinavian goddess Frigga.
Okay.
Both of them share one obsession in common, which is spinning. And domestic neatness in general. You know, similar to La Befana, the night that this Christmas witch, this Frau Perchta comes, is also January 6th. But she's not as nice as La Befana, even though they bear many similarities. Frau Perchta is much more like, if you're bad, I'm going to eat you. I'm going to curse you. Don't irritate me. Don't be a little shit. Or I'll take all your good things and I'll eat you.
So she's not even like, there's no like benevolent side to her. She's just here to like beat ass, basically.
Well, like if you have like a messy house and bad children, she's going to curse you.
Y'all, I told you, clean that house up.
It's true.
Look at her. Look at her. Do you see this picture of her?
She's going to come for y'all.
Literally, she is like, take that fucking tree down. What did I tell you?
So, like, whereas, like, La Befana is, like, the kindly, gift-giving grandma who always, like, has candy in the bottom of her purse. This is grandma who you might be a little afraid of. Like, this is grandma who's like, why you got dishes in your sink? Why don't you vacuum this room? Quit running around. You raise my light bill. And then she smack you.
Literally.
Like,
I love it. And I love the idea folklorically as like looking at these witches also, like not mighty dead and like the literal ancestral sense, but mighty dead, because there's like our beloved mighty dead, real people who were bloodline related to or not related to by blood. Then there's like the mighty dead in terms of like the witches who have come before us. But what about like the folkloric mighty dead? Like, what about really treating her and Befana as like craft Grammys? Like,
I think that's really acceptable, and I think something that you could almost look at too is the dual. If you're into the whole concept of like light and dark, you could kind of look at it as like La Befana is maybe the more kindly, gentle aspect of this Christmas witch, and then Frau Perchta is maybe the more severe. So you have the pillars of like mercy and severity here if you're into like Kabbalah and...
Yeah, I think I like that more than just simplifying them down to like light and dark. I think I like more of like the malevolent and benevolent, you know?
Yeah, I definitely prefer more of the like mercy and severity kind of aspect of it. I think that I think that in the witchcraft community, we do need to get away from this narrative of light and dark.
Yeah.
Or black and white.
Yeah, because to me, it's just like, there's so many connotations that come with it, but like at the very minimum, it's just lazy.
Yeah.
Like it's lazy cosmology to me.
Well, and one of the things that I've gotten away from in my practice is referring to things as good or evil. Like I will refer to things as good because good can be like, oh, that's good to me.
Right.
But evil is such a moral, subjective experience. So instead of saying like evil, I'll say like bad or icky, or like I banish the icky energy from this room, which I know sounds really stupid, but you know,
all icky energy be gone.
Icky energy, get out of here.
You're done. You're canceled. The ick, canceled.
The ick, not in my home.
No, but like imagine having like some gorgeous portraits of both of these witches, you know, like on an ancestor altar.
I think it would be really cool to have both and be like, you know, you pray to La Befana for abundance and for blessings to your magic, and you pray to Frau Perchta to
keep your 3 C's, keep it clean, keep it consecrated, honey.
Yeah, like
the 3 C's.
Keep your home, help you keep your home clean. Please don't darken my doorstep because I've done something naughty, you know. Keep all of my enemies at bay by eating their children, you know, stuff like that.
Right, like, you know, go over to your friend's house and like make a little bit of a mess right before the new year, so that way, like, Miss Frau like comes over there and
beats them with a stick.
But then there's also like, okay, so this also kind of reminds me of earlier in the year. So there's a book club, you guys. If you're not part of the book club, you need to be a part of it. This is a free occult resource for you to kind of like get into some witchy goodness. It's on Facebook, the Indie Witches Book Club. It's available in person at the shop and online.
We're both in it.
Right. Just join. Come on. It's a fun way to like hang out with like other queer, like-minded witches and like, you know, read some cool literature, work on your first pillar. And seriously, it's been really fun. Earlier in the year, though, we read Backwoods Witchcraft, and there's a bunch of folklore about like putting like handfuls of like grains or rice outside your door, because then like the hag, there's a specific Appalachian like spirit that I'm thinking of. I'm spacing her name, but like she has to count all the little grains of rice, or she has to like putting a besom like right outside your door because she has to count all of the bristles before she can enter your house.
That actually falls into some folklore with Baba Yaga as well.
Oh.
So with Baba Yaga, there's a story called Vasilisa the Beautiful. And
Eve says, I'm dying at the icky dialogue. I'm going to start using that. Eve, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
So in the story of Vasilisa the Beautiful, there's a little bit of a Red Riding Hood theme where like Vasilisa is going out to like do things. She's told to go speak to Baba Yaga for some stuff. I'm not going to get into the full extent of the story, but basically Baba Yaga imprisons her, and she's like, I'm going to give you these tasks, and you have to complete these tasks, or else I'm going to eat you.
And Miss Vaseline was like, bad.
Well, Miss Vasilisa was very lucky because Baba Yaga wasn't the only witch, because Vasilisa had spirits on her side who helped her complete all the tasks.
Come on, spirit team.
And one of those tasks specifically was Baba Yaga told Vasilisa that she needed to count all these grains of, I think it was grains of rice or grains of barley, something like that. But she needed to count all these grains, and she got the help of spirits to help her with that. So, yeah.
Also, can you just imagine the type of neurospicy spirit that like is going to come in your house and fuck shit up, but they're like, wait, now I have to count all of this. Like,
believe it or not, this is actually a word that I have used in the past in my room, because if you have,
so that's why there's just handfuls of rice all over your floor.
It's true. No, if you have
exposed,
if you have any issues with like night terrors or like constantly interrupted sleep where you feel a presence in your room, I don't like to be bothered when I'm sleeping. My room is a sacred space where I rest my body and my soul. I don't need to be bothered by other spirits in my bedroom. So in the past, I've actually put like a bowl of rice on the mantle. I have a little mantle above my bed. I've put a bowl of rice up there so that any spirits who want to come bother me have to be stopped and swayed by counting all of the grains of rice in this bowl.
I mean, that would perplex me.
Right? You're like, why is there a bowl of rice above your bed?
Right. Also, is it cooked?
No.
What if I'm hungry?
It's just raw.
What if I'm hungry? What if I need a little snack?
I mean, you can crunch on it.
You know what I mean?
Just up there crunching on that rice.
This is what I'm saying, Blood. Like, as someone who also has like OCD for real, I feel like I can kind of crack a little bit of jokes about it because like I have this myself in the sense that like there have been times, and you can ask Astradia this, we've been on the phone, where like I've already left my house and gotten on the interstate, and I'm convinced that I've not turned off my flat iron, that left my dogs outside, not locked my door, and I will have to turn around, even though I was literally on the phone with her. And she's like, no, babe, like, you're good. I'm like, no. I will make myself late for work.
She will. Almost every single time she walks out her door, she's like, did I leave this on? And I'm like, no. You didn't even go in there. What do you mean?
Or you're like, how am I supposed to know?
Yeah, because like I'm not in your house.
Right. But yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, maybe leaving some of that outside your door could help protect from Miss Petra too.
Possibly. Miss Kim Petras.
Miss Kim Petras herself.
It'll protect you from Kim Petras.
Kim Petras cannot enter. She has to count all of the strands on your bosom.
And she's just out there like, my coconuts.
She's like counting, you can put them in your mouth. Right now.
We stand our trans pop stars.
We do. For the dogs.
So I think putting up a little shrine to the Christmas witches is a really cute idea. And
even for the season. Even if it's just for the season. Like that would be cute.
And having the dual iconography of positive and negative polarities, I also think is a really oh my
gosh, our sisters of mercy and severity. Put them on cute little Catholic novenas. Okay, wait.
You are becoming Catholic.
Wait a second. I think I'm seeing a vision here.
Have you shown the chat your novena of Big Ange?
Oh my gosh, no, I haven't.
So Miss Ambrosia.
Iconic.
Miss Ambrosia has a novena candle. Is it on your altar?
So it was on my Samhain altar, you know, for the spirits of the dead. It was on that altar. And I'm not going to talk about specifics, and I legally can't talk about specifics also.
Legally. But
I recently had this LA excursion that I figured Big Ange of all aunties would be like the one to talk to, considering she's literally the saint of the tri-state area.
True.
So, and I feel like she gave me advice, you know. I love her.
I love that.
R.I.P. Okay. Yeah, I think we should go to like the Dollar Tree and like get stuff to make cute little shrines.
That would be fun. I want to do that.
We could even just get like little poppet dolls for like each of the witches and have like the colors of mercy and severity and have like two cute little poppet dolls.
I have something for that because last year around this time I went to a certain craft supply store called Michael's.
We love a Michael's.
And in the like kids area, they have these little like foam people shaped things that you can turn into dolls. I could 100% turn those into Befana and Frau Perchta dolls.
Right. Oh, something I wanted to bring up about Miss Petra's here is that I've seen some art where she almost has more like a goat-like face.
There is some artwork. There are some like pictures of her where her face is very inhuman.
Like, this one?
And I think a big part of that is supposed to represent her like more
animalistic,
her more severe animalistic, dare I say, dark mother aspect.
Yeah, this image in particular, I found like I just it's on Google here, but I saw this maybe a couple weeks ago as I was just like on the Book of Faces, you know, one of the most famous modern grimoires, if you will. And I was just scrolling, and on my timeline, here's this beaut, right? And I'm like salivating at the mouth. Of course, no, I'm kidding. But I saw her, and I'm like, wow, like this is stunning, 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 stunning. I love this, like this particular that I have pulled up on the screen, like this particular imagery of her. Mikey is asking, is she also the one with a steel mask? I don't know if she has a steel mask or not. Do you know, Australia?
I don't know,
We
but
don't know.
I'm actually looking right now.
We're just here, babe. We're just here. We're celebrating the season. Now, next week, we have some craft sisters for you. And we're going to be pulling from the Season of the Witch Yule Oracle and doing live readings for you guys with that. And that'll be hopefully Sid, me, and Paige. Australia might be in the chat helping mod, but I figured, you know, she might need a week off. Like, you know what I mean? I get it. But yeah, we're going to be talking about New Year tarot numerology using RWS and also pulling the Yule Oracle from Season of the Witch. So we're kind of going to be celebrating like all month, kind of, you know, so get into it.
Oh, wow. Perchta does not mess around. So I'm looking at some bits of folklore about some of the things that she would give as like rewards, punishments, and stuff like that. And like she would leave like silver coins and things like that near the front of the house. Also, part of her thing is she would watch like the house servants or anyone who lives in the house and be like, are you doing your cleaning? Are you spinning enough thread for the household?
Oh my gosh, she's a micromanager.
She is. She's a big
micromanager. She's a Virgo.
If she judges you as lazy or ill-behaved, you will not find coins in the morning. You will awake to her standing before you. She would pull a dagger from her skirt and slit open your stomach and pull out your entrails and stuff them full of straw and the unused material that was not used to spin thread and small stones. This practice earned her the intimidating name of Perchta, the belly slitter.
Okay, not her being a Virgo, though.
Right?
Not her being a micromanager. Not her being a control freak.
Right off, I'm not seeing any. Right off, I'm not seeing anything. What is this accent that keeps popping out of me? I'm not seeing anything about an iron mask or a metal mask or anything like that. But she's savage.
Blood says, I'm sure y'all have seen the post of the Christmas skeleton horse that sings at you to let them in, and if you can't sing a good excuse why they can't come in, they break in and drink all of your beer.
Yeah, so that is
Mary Lude, right?
That is a very prevalent...
Is that Mary Lude?
Huh?
Is that Mary Lude?
Possibly. But basically what would happen, and this was a European holiday.
And she was there.
They would go around.
She was there.
I'm ancient. Like, you would go door to door with this effigy with this horse skull on it, and you would basically knock on people's doors. It was almost like trick or treat, but for Christmas. And you would knock on people's doors and you would sing at them and demand like booze and food. And if the household didn't have booze and food, you broke the fuck in and you whooped some ass and you took their food and booze.
Sign me up. In this economy. Yes.
I mean, I figured you'd be big into Saturnalia.
Okay. I mean, that can be a regular Tuesday for me, honey. And you know this.
You know
how it's set up.
I know how it is.
You know how it is. And you also know how it isn't. Okay?
I do.
Betwixt and between. Okay? Saturnalia is a regular occurrence on Mass Avenue downtown. Let me tell you.
That is very true. Now, something we weren't necessarily going to cover because this is more about winter solstice things is specifically Christmas. But modern Christmas as we know it now commercially is pretty new. Like the folklore behind it, the stuff, like a lot of the folklore is old, but the way that we understand Christmas now And especially it being so religious is pretty new. It actually wasn't even a thing until the 1830s, which is not that long ago.
You guys, I hate to burst your bubble here. Conspiracy theory, not conspiracy theory. You can thank Coca-Cola.
You really can.
Honestly.
You really can thank Coca-Cola for what Christmas is now. It's a rap battle with a horse skull. Yes, blood. Absolutely. I love everything about what you just said.
And Raven, the Season of the Witch Yule deck is super gorgeous. The Samhain deck is lovely too. We did a live poll with that here on the channel as well. But the Yule deck is like a special kind of pretty. It has like green gilded pages and much more representation and diversity. Yeah. I will say I'm still waiting for the deck to incorporate some more queer couples, but like it's been diverse in some other really beautiful ways. And they made like kind of a public statement about wanting to improve upon that after some of the commentary they got from their Samhain deck.
Yeah.
So I think that was good that they were willing to like kind of take some input.
They also have a Beltane deck, and the Beltane deck is absolutely gorgeous.
I bet. I haven't gotten that one. I'm kind of waiting until that wheel turn comes around. But I think Mabon is getting ready to be released.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. I think it's like on pre-order or something.
We know you love being the Mabon girl.
The Mabon.
The Mabon.
Mabon.
Do we want to talk about Santa Claus, or do we want to move on to our next scary
thing? I feel like we should just talk about him. I mean, he's honestly... Is he the Snow King Daddy?
Snow King Daddy. Love that.
I feel like he would be into leather. I'm just saying. I think Santa Claus might be a leather daddy.
So some of the obvious aspects of Santa, you know, are in correlation to a certain Norse Allfather by the name of Odin.
Oh my God.
Odin has a lot of different aspects to him that are very similar to what we know about Santa Claus. You know, but Santa Claus is also very much associated with an actual saint, Saint Nicholas, who was pretty well renowned for his kindness and his piety and everything like that. He was... So the legend can be traced back hundreds of years to a monk named Saint Nicholas. It is believed Nicholas was born sometime around AD 280 in Patara near Mira in modern-day Turkey.
Oh, he's a Turkish zaddy.
He's a Turkish zaddy.
We love it.
Much admired for his piety and kindness, Saint Nicholas became the subject of many legends. It is said that he gave away all of his inherited wealth and traveled the countryside, helping the poor and sick. One of the best-known St. Nicholas stories is the time that he saved 3 poor sisters from being sold into slavery or prostitution by their father by providing them with a dowry so that they could be married. So that's pretty good. So, you know, the legends that surround St. Nicholas are all about his kindness and giving and everything like that.
Oh, honey, he's giving. He's giving because Mikey here, speaking from experience, Mikey says that he wears a harness under that suit. Business up front, that baddie behind the scenes. And I believe Mikey is speaking from experience. So.
I do too. I feel that.
Firsthand, lived experience.
Lived experience. Someone was kissing Santa Claus.
Can we talk about all the like Santa and like Christmas carols though? You guys, I was trying to insufferably bully Australia into caroling with me for you guys. She was vehemently against it. She does not believe in the joy of Christmas. So she will not be caroling for you guys.
Believe it or not, I actually used to be in a Christmas choir in my church growing up. I was raised in a spiritual Baptist church.
Shout out to the
Hoodoo. Shout out to the Baptist church ladies. I've been in several Christmas productions.
Oh my God, are they filmed?
Not filmed, but like church Christmas. But I don't know, someone might have filmed it.
Right. I want the home VHS tape
Oh my gosh.
I want to have like a cute video of you doing like a solo.
That's cringe.
Did you ever do a solo?
I think I did.
Or a duet?
Or what?
A duet?
I have done duets, but not Christmas duets.
See, missed opportunity. We could have had a duet here.
We could have, but we don't.
Who's our next folkloric spirit? Do we have more about Saint Nick? Or
well, I mean, I feel like Santa Claus is pretty well known, especially with his stuff. He does have a darker bit of history. If you go into certain aspects of folklore, where there is a like fae being that is associated with Santa Claus, that is more of a winter, I'm gonna eat your kids kind of thing.
Well, aren't there like some horror movies with that? I feel like I've seen some horror movies of like a killer Santa.
There's an action movie that is, I think it's out. It's relatively new. If it's not out, it's going to be coming out soon.
What is it called?
I can't remember, but it's an action movie with Santa beating the crap out of these guys who broke into this house and have this family hostage. And Santa shows up to deliver presents while these guys are doing this, and he just completely obliterates them. Let me see if I can find.
Okay, so there is also apparently a movie called Violent Night. Okay. We need to watch this.
New action Santa movie.
We need to watch this.
Oh, it's Violent Night. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the first one that pops up under Killer Santa movie.
Yeah, that's the movie I was talking about. Basically, it's Santa.
He's not even cute.
Also, Santa's kind of hot.
Not this Santa.
No?
No. Where's the fat boy?
He could be fatter. Yeah, he's more ripped, isn't he?
Santa's supposed to be giving hoagie. You know what I mean?
That's true. I had a whole conversation with my son about Santa getting down chimneys and stuff like that. And he was like, but how's he do that if he's so fat? I was like, magic. That's the only explanation I gave him. I was like, magic. And then he was like, I don't understand, because he's very much a Capricorn and he's very logical. And he's like, no, you can't just tell me magic. How's he get down the chimney? And I'm like, he teleports.
Well, also, too, it's actually a historical fact that Shakira herself actually taught St. Nicholas how to get down that chimney.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. And actually, if you look in the background of the music video, She-Wolf, you will actually see this taking place.
Was this before or after the tax evasion?
You will see it. Oh, okay. Who's our next spirit?
We are going to talk about the Icelandic Christmas cat. So, I don't know if y'all have picked up on this yet, but
we can't pronounce things.
Well, there's that, but also Christmas is full of horror,
which I'm living for.
Me too. So the Christmas cat is not like a nice cuddly cat. The Christmas cat looks like an average house cat, except giant, and will eat your children if they're bad. Basically, in Iceland, there is this horrifying legend of the Christmas cat, which has a very long Icelandic name that I cannot pronounce.
Same, and I'm not going to even try. That's why we're now calling this the Ice Cat.
But we do have a poem.
Okay, let's get a poem.
You all know the Yule cat, and that cat was huge indeed. People didn't know where he came from or where he went. He opened his glaring eyes wide, the two of them glowing bright. It took a really brave man to look straight into them. His whiskers sharp as bristles, his back arched up high, and the claws of his hairy paws were a terrible sight. He gave a wave of his strong tail. He jumped and he clawed and he hissed, sometimes up in the valley, sometimes down by the shore. He roamed at large, hungry and evil, in the freezing Yule snow. In every home, people shuddered at his name. If one heard a pitiful meow, something evil would happen soon. Everybody knew he hunted men, but didn't care for mice.
Same, though, honestly.
Do you feel like you're the Christmas cat?
Honestly, what I would really like to know is I do believe that folklore, inspired by the spirits, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but was there some kind of large beast in Iceland that, like, at one point in time in the physical, quite literally tore shit up?
Maybe. It's entirely possible that there was some kind of large cat in
A
Iceland.
velociraptor in Iceland came through.
Maybe not a velociraptor. Maybe like a saber-toothed tiger. A smilodon.
A pterodactyl.
A pterodactyl. Just a whole pterodactyl flying around, swooping people up, and they're like, a cat.
It's a cat. I mean, it could have been dark outside, you know? They could have mistaken things for things.
But basically, if you were caught out in the Yule winter snows of Iceland, the cat would eat you. The cat would jump upon you, pounce upon you. There were no gifts from the Yule cat. The Yule cat was just like, I'm out here to eat.
The Yule cat was not here to play the games with the kids. And I thought, too, I remember listening to a video earlier today, like this morning, about like folkloric winter spirits, and the Yule cat was on the list. And I think there was something, and I think it was the Yule cat. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, but I think it was about like putting new clothes outside.
Maybe.
Like that was supposed to like deter the Yule cat to like put your new clothes outside overnight.
Girl, I'm just saying, I'm going to keep a spray bottle on me, and if I'm out in the Yuletide snow, I'm going to spray that bitch.
The Yule cat's getting popped.
Bad kitty.
Ooh, a snow leopard. You know, that could be more likely, I think, than a velociraptor.
Or a pterodactyl.
Possibly. Might be more likely.
Maybe. I think Blood might be onto something here.
Highly possible.
Highly probable.
But I also think, too, that the spirits inspire folklore. Like, I don't think that the Yule cat ever had to be something in the physical, but, like, what if it was? What if there was, like, a cat version of, like, Clifford? Like the big red dog?
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about the real daddy of Christmas?
Yeah, let's talk about him.
Do we want to talk about Krampus?
Krampus. Krampoppy.
The true daddy of Christmas.
Honestly. I feel like ever since that movie came out in 2015, it's like he thinks he's the star of the show now, though. It's like he's the Gaston of winter folklore spirits.
I mean, I'm just saying, I found out this year and I didn't get to go. But did you know we have a Krampusnacht festival here?
Yeah. Elle, who's in our chat, was one of the Krampus demons.
I kind of want to put together a Krampus costume now.
If you go on Elle's page, Elle has like a first person video somewhere, I think, of her actually in her Krampus demon outfit running around scaring people during the Krampus walk. And Zoe and Fierney, who we had on the channel, remember, was part of the Krampus thing.
Yep.
I wasn't able to go either, sadly.
So you know what I'm noticing about a lot of these like Christmas folkloric monsters and witches and things like that is they all seem to originate from a very specific part of Europe. We've got a lot of Scandinavian, a lot of Germanic, a lot of Icelandic. Like it's all a lot of that. Krampus hails from Central Europe and is a popular half goat, half demon monster that punishes misbehaving children.
Honestly, thank you. Let's give a round of applause.
Krampus comes in and grabs these little bitches up and smacks them around with his bundle of whatever it is that he has.
Honestly, doing the good work.
Really, he is. He throws these little kids in his bag or his basket, or I think I've also heard that he has a big pot on his back, like a big cooking pot with a lid. Like a heavy iron one that he throws these kids in and puts the lid on it, and he wanders around with this cooking pot on his back. and he takes these kids away and he eats them. Have you
In a lot of the art, it looks like he's got a wicker basket.
I've seen that too, where it's a wicker basket. I've seen it where it's a bag. But he's like the devilish companion to Saint Nicholas. So Saint Nicholas is like the benevolent one, but if you're bad, Krampus is gonna snatch you up. He's gonna snatch you up and he's gonna beat you with his sticks, and he's gonna eat your ass. Not in the fun way.
So for Samhain this year, we always, so a few sabbats prior to Samhain, the coven, we like all pull, we pick like themes, right? So like major arcana tarot cards, mythology, folklore, whatever, colors, whatever. Like we all put themes into like the cauldron and then we pull a theme out. And so this year, our theme for Samhain, as far as costumes, because we always wear a costume, was the Wheel of the Year. And one of my coven mates was the Winter Solstice. And so she came as Krampus.
I love that.
To Samhain, but she also was our Krampus demon at our Yule festival as well. It was iconic.
So Krampus was also thought to have been part of pagan rituals of the winter solstice throughout Scandinavia and Norway and everything like that. And he was believed in certain legends to be the son of Hel, the Norse goddess of the underworld. And then later became associated with Christianity, despite efforts of the Catholic Church to ban him. He was canceled. They were trying to cancel him.
He literally tried to cancel.
They tried to cancel Krampus, and he said, "Oh, hell no."
He's uncancelable. And yeah, he kind of is the Gaston. Like, I'm just saying. I have not seen Violent Night, so I don't know. But if you're talking about Krampus, it's worth a watch. Would I watch it more than once? Probably not. But I actually went to go see it in theater when it came out. So that was like 2015, 2016, I think, somewhere in there. So it's been long enough that I could probably watch it again. Blood also says, it was you and Zoe who have caused me to rethink my stance on Satan. Rather than a straight up nope, I'm leaning more towards a TST point of view in terms of Satan specifically.
That's awesome, Blood.
He also says, son of hell? That's quite the flex.
Right? I mean, I don't know. But, folklore likes to go crazy sometimes.
I think I've also seen, too, in that video that I was referencing about the Yule cat or the ice cat, about putting, like, new clothing outside to prevent the Yule cat from busting in and wrecking your shit that night. Mm-hmm. I think I also saw that Miss Petrus also has, like, Krampus-like demon minions. I think it was her. And that sometimes, like, she won't come herself to slit your belly, but she'll send her demons. And her demons basically look a lot like little Krampus hellions.
She's a busy woman. Like,
it's almost like Grýla and the Yule lads, which we haven't gotten to that yet. We need to get on that too. But it's almost like that, except Miss Petrus has little Krampus demon babies that she sends after people.
That's honestly a whole mood.
Honestly. Raven says, my husband is Romanian. I wonder if they have anything similar to any of these in his country. I'll have to ask him and let you guys know. Please do.
Yeah, please let us know, because that sounds really interesting.
Also, I just feel like Romania has like so much spooky lore that I would be surprised if they didn't have some sort of winter or something. I would be shocked.
Definitely. So speaking of Grýla.
Miss Grýla.
So, I have to admit, I first heard about Grýla from, again, bringing this up, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
No, same, me too. And I loved her in that.
I did too. So, from what I understand about a little bit of reading, is that Grýla was actually perceived as an ogre.
Yeah, because I think the Yule lads, in some stories, the Yule lads are like little trolls, and in other versions, the Yule lads are like parentless little boys.
Yeah. But also it says here, and this makes her kind of Krampusy too, is she eats badly behaved. She comes and collects badly behaved children, throws them in her sack, cooks and she cooks them in her cauldron and then eats them. I remember this person recounts. I remember how scared we Icelandic kids were of this terrible troll Grýla, and she still gives me the creeps. So maybe it could be a thing where it's like she eats the children, but she keeps their souls as her own kids. There's also some really interesting imagery here of Grýla.
This was the character Grýla from Sabrina. Just iconic. Honestly.
She was a really interesting character.
Also, like, I don't want to spoil anything per se for those of you who maybe haven't seen Sabrina and plan to watch it, but there's a really iconic scene where they have to prove like who should be the real mother.
Yeah.
And like so-and-so's like, oh, split the baby down the middle or something. And I think that this story is also like biblical as well. Like I think that there's a version, something like this in the Bible.
I don't know about that. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think I heard someone talking about how there's like a part in it where it's like they have to. I'll have to see if I can find it. Don't quote me on it. I'm definitely no Bible expert, you guys. But I'm pretty sure that there's a story that's very similar that kind of like inspired this particular tale where these two women who are claiming this child are trying to fight over, you know, who should be the real mother or who is the real mother. And this middle person is like, oh, why don't you just split the baby down the middle and you each take half? And like the woman who's okay with it is clearly not the real mother because she's just wanting the baby out of spite.
But can we talk about Miss Grýla here with her child sausage?
Iconic. She's an icon. Eve says that it's King Solomon. King Solomon is the one about splitting the baby down the middle. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then Mikey says it's totally biblical. Two women were fighting over a baby. The king says to split it down the middle. The women said no to splitting it one custody. And then Alvine says it is biblical. It's King Solomon. So I knew it was familiar. I knew it was familiar.
It's been a long time since I've read my Bible. I do have one.
You better go read your Bible.
I need to go read my Bible.
You need to go read your Bible. That's what you should be
Bible.
doing this solstice.
I need to be bathed in his blood. Not to quote Trixie and Katya, but, you know, need to be bathed in his blood.
Washed in the blood.
Washed in the blood of Christ.
Okay, can we talk about the Yule lads' names, though?
Do you have that up?
I'm about to.
Girl, get it. Oh my God, some of these images of Grýla that I'm finding, she looks real cute. Like, I want to be friends with her. I love an ogre. I've been called an ogre before because I'm a tall girl.
What?
Oh, I've totally had people call me an ogre before.
Okay, so I'm not going to say, like, their classical spellings, but basically, here's what some of these Yule lads' names are. Sheep Coat Clawed, Gollygawk, Stubby, Spoon Licker, Pot Scraper, Bowl Licker, Door Slammer, Skyer Gobbler. Like, come on.
Also,
they're adorable.
Can we talk about the fact that there are
13
of them, which, as we all know, is the number of the witch.
And like the 13 moons. Hello.
So, Jasmine, how would you, through ritual or witchcraft or whatever, how would you approach Grýla?
Oh my
God. Would you approach Grýla?
I don't know.
Because, see, for me, being that I have a child, I don't think I would approach Grýla.
Well, maybe if you don't want your child.
Well, we do live in an era where...
so maybe that?
You know, so maybe if you're in a situation where you might not want the child, maybe Grýla is a good place to start.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not really sure if I can think of a way I could work Grýla in. Though I do think that like maybe making cute little packs with like the Yule lads to like create some winter solstice mischief, like for your loved ones or for your friends. You know what I mean?
You know what you could do? I think something like to keep, well, so in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, what they do is they light a Yule log and it keeps the Yule lads out of their house because the Yule log creates an aura of protection. But something that you could also do is because, you know, the Yule lads are out there in the cold and they are taken care of by Grýla, at least in that folklore. You could set out food for the Yule lads so that way you appease them and they won't come into your home and cause chaos. You know, you set out little bowls of food in the snow or something like that overnight and you let the Yule lads eat it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely love just like the overall theatrics of a Yule log. Like staying up all night, keeping the Yule fire going. That's kind of like pulling on some Shaba Yaldas as well, in like terms of like staying up and reading poetry and like eating specific foods to bring in things in like the new year and everything. Like, I don't know, I just love the theatrics of it.
And for those of you who didn't see it last year, when Jasmine performed Shaba Yaldas, I was there for it. She had candles for a bunch of people from her Patreon and things like that. And she tended those candles every day.
Yes. And we will be doing that again this year. I'm so excited. So I'll have candles for the folks on Patreon. So the people who are currently subscribed leading up to the ritual will get candles. But then like the people who are there in person will get candles, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a fun time.
I agree, Blood. All these descriptive names and then Stumpy.
I feel like Stumpy is dopey.
We stand Stumpy.
We love a Stumpy.
We love a Stumpy. Oh, that sounds so bad.
Ah! Oh my God, fried.
So I think we covered a pretty good number of Yule spirits. So maybe now we could ask the chat, do you guys have any Christmas traditions or spirits that you like to adhere to? What are your solstice traditions or things that you like to do? Tell us.
Or what are your solstice plans?
Yeah, do you have any fun Yule plans, Christmas plans? Blood, hey now.
Which made me just think of like, hey now, hey now.
This is what you need. Look, I sang for you.
I wish we had like some cute, like Christmas music to play for you guys.
There is like I said, there is winter lo-fi and it's pretty cute, but it's not Christmassy enough.
Well, I also can only play like non-copyrighted like music, which is really annoying because I got popped for that before. Eve says, my friends and I are doing an RPG tabletop game of the movie Black Christmas. We've been developing it now for months.
That sounds really cool. I also do tabletop roleplay. Currently, I'm in a fantasy Warhammer game. So yeah, that sounds awesome.
And I also play tabletop games. And by tabletop games, I mean I jump up on top of the table, Coyote Ugly style, and ruin everyone's time.
Or beer pong.
You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, Elf on the Shelf, Raven.
Okay, can I be honest with you guys?
This is something. This is something.
Let me be honest. Like, Christmas cat, Christmas witches, Krampus, none of that stuff scares me. That little fucking elf on a shelf, though, that thing creeps me out. Not gonna lie. Some creepy little elf running around my house doing Christmas stuff without my knowledge? No, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something sinister, I feel like, about Elf on the Shelf. But also, I love seeing all of the adult rated Elf on a Shelf like memes that come out where people make the elf do all types of naughty things.
Yes. I do kind of love that.
So Blood says that, so I'm assuming that this is going back to like the angel on top of the tree. Santa was grumpy one year, so a young angel wanted to cheer him up. So she set out to find him the most beautiful Christmas tree in the forest.
Okay.
Mikey says the elf on a shelf is like the narc for a Big Brother style North Pole.
For real.
True.
Just reporting back to Santa if you're naughty. It's like, shut up. Shut up, elf.
It's true.
Me, as I have elves all over my dress.
I'm just like, I'm wearing this little Santa hat that, you know.
Oh, we haven't been able to see the tiara like this whole time.
Oh no, it's really like for kids, I think. And I have like a big Bratz doll head, so it's a lot. But we've got this, and then I'm wearing like my Savage Fenty like onesie because it's like green-ish.
But do we love the elf dress?
I love the elf dress.
It has pockets.
I think. I mean, I would even like a 360. You know.
I don't know about all that.
A whole 360. Also, you guys, she is wearing festive leggings as well.
I am. They're Nightmare Before Christmas.
And they're iconic.
With like Christmas.
And I told her this would be the one and only time I would ask her to wear such an atrocity.
You know,
one and only time.
I honestly don't mind dressing up for holiday stuff. I mean, we did it for Halloween.
That was so fun.
We did it for Samhain.
The
god Samhain. We, you know.
Are we going to dress up as wolves for Lupercalia?
Oh, we could wear like cute wolf ears.
Yeah, we could look like the werewolves or something.
That'd be so cute.
You know, something for the kids.
Or we could do like a little Red Riding Hood moment and pull from like, again, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I'm obsessed with that show. I'm sorry.
I mean, I like it too.
Oh, we're still learning about the angel though. Blood's still teaching us about the angel.
Oh.
So the angel came back with the tree and said very clearly, "Merry Christmas, Santa. Look, I brought you a beautiful tree. Where would you like me to stick it?"
And Santa said,
"That's not very nice, Santa Claus."
I feel like Santa's nice. He's always watching us.
Santa's a pervert, and I'm here for it.
And that's how the angel got on top of the tree. That's how it happened.
That's how it happened.
So if your son asks, oh my gosh, I have been really enjoying though seeing people's biblically accurate angels that they're sticking on top of their tree.
I love it.
I want to make one, not even just to put on top of the tree, but just to have as like room decor.
I was thinking about at one point in time putting up a black Christmas tree and putting like a Baphomet on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be really cute.
Yeah, please. I have like a cute Krampus head that goes on. So I have a couple different trees because growing up, my mother had multiple trees. We all had trees in our bedroom. We all had our own little personal trees. And then we had a tree like in like the recreation area of the house, like the rec room, that had all of the kids' ornaments they made growing up. So all of like our childhood ornaments was on that tree. And our Christmas Eve presents would go on that tree. And then my mom had her tree, which was like the big tree downstairs that had a theme that was very meticulous. So also part of that tree, actually the top had to be cut because the tree was taller than the ceiling of our house. So like the tree basically just looked like it burst through the ceiling, kind of, because the top of it was cut. All of our trees are fake too, because like...
Oh yeah, growing up all the trees. Well, that's not true because we did occasionally get real trees, but I have a horrible Christmas story to tell you. So my mom wanted a real tree one year. So we go.
There's so much work.
They are, and they're a mess. But she had heard that if you put sugar in the water of the basin that the tree goes into, it'll last longer. Girl.
Is it true?
For those who don't know, when you put sugar in water, it will rot.
Mold? Yeah, mold.
And it's so you have like Christmas tree juice, water, and rotting sugar. It smelled like vomit.
No.
It was gross. We never did it again after that. Never again after that.
I just also too like stepping on pine needles.
Oh no, it hurts. I remember I was reaching in to put an ornament on, and a pine needle got me right in the tip of my finger, and it felt like the worst needle had just pricked the shit out of me, and then my finger burned and itched for like an hour.
Not just homophobic.
I know.
Yeah, my mom's trees always had themes. And so I have the tree that I have is like it's a big fake tree, and then all the ornaments are like red and gold. And one of my friends one year actually from I won't say the name of this place, but it's like a German bakery in our city, really popular German bakery. She actually got it from there.
Oh.
And it's a big Krampus like ornament. And then I also have like a Krampus head that can go on top of the tree.
I love it.
And it fits the red and gold aesthetic. Even better. Also, okay, Christmas lights. Do you guys have any up at your house? Are you putting any up?
I mean, my room has lights in it. I know you guys can't see it, but I have lights in my room all year round. We haven't put any up outside, but we also have we have a lot of like movement impaired people in my household. So like putting stuff up outside is a little difficult. I may still try and put something up outside. You and I have talked about this. I love a pink Christmas, and I really want to put up like pink Christmas lights. And I
always feel like the soft pink vibe around Christmas.
Like there's something that I love about a white Christmas tree with like soft pink, like garland and ornaments and lights and stuff like that. I think it's cute.
Eve says that they're putting black lights on their tree.
Ooh,
that sounds fun.
Fun.
I'm very much like a classic girl. Like I'm very classic. I love my fake green evergreen tree, not with the fake snow on it, not a white tree, not a black tree, a dark forest green plastic nightmare covered in tinsel.
And the tinsel is the tinsel all stuck in the
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I want a random assortment of ornaments. Like, you know, I have this theme tree, which is really nice, but that's not really me. You know, that's like where I come from. If it was really me, it would be just like a vomit of like mismatching ornaments from like different memories and stuff.
That's what my trees were always like growing up.
I love that because then you look at the ornaments and you're like, I got that from that really awkward work Christmas party, white elephant back in 2000, whatever. Yeah. Or, oh my gosh, I remember me and my good Judy, we like drank wine one night and like made ornaments. Like when you have a tree like that, it's just so much more, I feel like, meaningful. And they do say, you guys, and I don't know how true this is, but they say that people who are neurospicy and people who suffer with seasonal depression tend to have less extreme cases of seasonal depression when they have those decorations. I think there's something about the bright lights of like Christmas lights and twinkle lights and like the tree and like all the light that comes from it that's supposed to like help bring joy or nostalgia or something. I don't know. It's a tea. So this year, I really didn't want to do a whole lot because, like I said, I had pneumonia for part of November, and that's normally when I start decorating. And so I was just like, okay, it's too late. I don't want to put stuff up. I put up lights outside, and I went off of tradition here. I didn't do like the cute, classic white lights that I normally do. I did more of like the vintage Christmas lights that are like multicolor.
Yeah.
So I have those outside, and then I also put some of those lights around my sabbatical altar, which I never, in the history of ever, of being a practicing witch, have ever put twinkle lights around my altar. So that's like new for me.
I think part of it for me, because I am more animistic in my practice, and because a lot of what I do comes from a folk magical standpoint, usually what I prefer is candles over electric lights. So something that I like to do on Christmas Eve and on Christmas is have a bunch of candles lit because I just like the atmosphere that like
I do too.
That candles in the fireplace create. And if I can't light a fireplace, I'll like put it on like a TV or something like that. I like that like fire atmosphere and everything like that. Also, Blood said pastel goth Christmas, absolutely, because one of my favorite Christmas decorations for a tree is skulls. So like white tree, pastel pink decorations with skulls added in.
I have seen some like really cute kawaii pink trees too.
I have two.
And like, I love that. Don't get me wrong, you guys. Like, I love it. I'm just saying, like, me personally, as a morally superior person, cannot get behind it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Do you spray your tree with like the spray that makes it smell
No.
like no?
No, ma'am.
You don't want to smell like a real tree?
I will have my plastic nightmare and I will be joyous about it. It will be
Absolutely.
merry and it'll be bright. Okay.
Absolutely.
So yeah. No, I feel you on the candles thing because there's something warming, I think, about like keeping the fire. I definitely felt tending to those novenas until they burned through and like feeding them that energy and like reading the glass and like that was definitely a cozy sort of experience.
Those novenas did a number on your ceiling.
They did. They did.
They really
Which my friend says I should just like white spray paint over it, and that would be the best way to like cover it. I tried to wash because like here's the thing, some of those people's novenas needed an SOS.
Yeah.
Which is okay. But I think because I was working so many all at once in a confined space that some of those nasty candles, the soot just, yeah. So I tried to clean it, but I think it's stained. So maybe just painting over it would be the best. A magic eraser.
Raven has provided a very nice warning about poinsettias and holly. If you have pets, don't have poinsettias and holly. I haven't had a poinsettia in my house in a very long time because I do have a cat. We have 2 cats in my house. And I do not want to make them sick because my cat, unfortunately, is a plant biter. So I oftentimes can't have plants that are larger that she can access because she will eat them. I used to have these roommates years ago that had carnivorous plants, and she ate the carnivorous plants. Which I think
I've had poinsettias in my house before. I've not had them like anywhere where my animals can get into them, but I also don't have cats. I have dogs, and
I do love a fake poinsettia though.
They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
They are. They're beautiful flowers. But yeah, I agree. If you have pets, be careful with Christmas flowers.
Most household plants actually are pretty poisonous, like to your pets.
Now, I do buy her, to kind of curb it, I will buy her cat grass every once in a while so she can have herself a nice little, on some cat grass. Pretend she's a little cow, just eating some grass.
Well, I hope you guys that like, if anything with this live stream, for one, I wanted to kiki with Australia because like it's always a gag. We always have fun. But I wanted to bring you guys like some holiday cheer because like this year has been
rough.
Okay. And like, I figured it would be kind of nice for us just to kind of like kiki, have like a little holiday festive moment, have like a little solstice check-in. I definitely like to celebrate the turning of the wheel the whole season. So like, I kind of start celebrating basically like as soon as like it's a couple days post Samhain, it's Yule in my mind. Like I'm in that turning of the wheel. So, and also too, like, I feel like not to be like the edgy, like alt girl about it, but I feel like Yule and like winter solstice season actually has like kind of a lot of like spooky folklore and like this more sinister undercurrent that I think in the modern era gets lost in translation with the holidays because like it's focused on either like this kind of baby Jesus or like capitalism. Which also, let me just say that there's no way, you guys, there is no way that this baby Jesus, really, on the 25th,
maybe not.
A Capricorn?
In this economy?
Jesus, a Capricorn? Come on.
My son's a Capricorn.
Point proven. No, I'm kidding. Oh, okay. So Raven says that they see a lot of pets come into the ER at the animal hospital I work at this time of year.
That's sad. People should be more careful with their pets.
People should be better pet parents.
Yeah. Also, like, another thing that I was looking at is, like, don't give pets as gifts on the holidays unless you know that the person that you're getting them for is going to take care of them. Because
Or children, you know?
apparently, like, holiday gifted pets are, like, some of the most, like, returned to, like, shelters and stuff like that around, like, the holiday season. That makes me so sad.
I would be very upset if one of my friends just like gifted me a cat.
Right.
Like, I would be like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do with this? Like, ugh. But yeah, we kind of wanted to do this live because, yeah, there's like a spooky, sinister undercurrent to winter solstice that I think is often kind of forgotten about. So that's kind of why I propositioned this to Australia.
And undoubtedly, the holiday season, winter solstice, Christmas, whatever you celebrate, is always full of magic. And that's what we're enthusiastic about. We're enthusiastic about
And that's what
magic.
we're all about over here.
That's what we're all about. We're about the magic in the holiday season.
And chia and festiveness.
You said that, and all I could think about is Doja Cat. Hair grow long like chia.
Oh, Mikey said, even worse, do not put your current pet up for adoption to make room for the new. That's sick. And I hope that Miss Petra comes and personally guts like a fish. Any sicko out there who is like, oh, I'm just going to get rid of my old pet.
Dear Kim Petras, please go gut people who are mean to their pets on holiday season, be they new or old.
Amen Ra.
Ramen noodles.
Bless thee. Well, I think this might be the end of the stream.
I think so too. And
this feels good. This feels like a good place.
I really hope that all of you enjoyed the stream and listened to me and Jasmine be ridiculous about holiday spirits. And
because we're into it.
We're into it. Also, I think if you guys haven't picked up on this already, while Jasmine and I make a lot of jokes, we do take our practices and our religions very seriously as witches.
We do.
Also, we are very aware that in the witchcraft community, there's a lot of dry conversation about magic, and we want to bring a little fun to it because you should have fun with magic.
There's a lot of stale saltines out there.
There sure are. So we hope that you have fun during these lives. We want to keep them going, and we hope we'll see you next time for our next conversation, which I'm really excited about.
Oh my gosh, we got to talk about that a little bit too before we get off.
We do.
So the next Daughters of Qayin is the Witch's Devil one, yeah?
Yeah. And we're going to have a special guest.
We're going to have a special guest. And we're going to be talking about the Witch's Devil, December 28th. So
tune in.
Definitely tune in. It's going to be a ball. It's going to be a gag. It's going to be sickening. It's going to be a function. It's going to be an event. You won't want to miss it. And I feel like the Witch's Devil is something that like just needs to be talked about more because I feel like there's so much complexity to that topic and so many different ways that we can interpret this Witch's Devil in our practice. And this is our guest. So
Blood, Sweat, and Steel will be our guest for that, for the Witch's Devil conversation. Super excited. And we hope to see all of you there.
And it'll be fun to have like a Daughters of Qayin, like when we had with Zoe, where it was like us and them. Like, I don't know. I just think that that's a vibe. A blasphemy mass series. That sounds kind of fun and interesting. Like, tell us more.
You know, speaking of blasphemy, do you guys want us to have an episode where we talk about blasphemy specifically and its applications through witchcraft and catharsis? Like, if that's something you want us to talk about, we could definitely cover that topic at some point in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would like to talk about that period just because I feel like that's kind of like where my practice is right now. And like, I mean, even going back to like the Backwoods Witchcraft book with like Jake Richards' Black Baptism, that sounds amazing. I still want to do that.
Yeah, I would definitely love to have a full conversation about blasphemy and stuff like that.
Or like taking the Epiphany Day and like kind of twisting it and contorting it to be more about like the magic and like having La Befana like bless your magic and make your magic fruitful for the year, and making it more about self-empowerment and self-apotheosis through the lens of being a magi and being a magical person, and having La Befana bless you in that, I think is kind of also a way to like celebrate the Epiphany Day in a blasphemous sort of like tone.
So Mikey mentioned that they had seen us talk about it during a reaction.
Probably when we were talking about the witches react to Christians, like,
yes. And
so I don't remember if that was like we were maybe going to host like some kind of mass, like a ritual mass, or if it was like we were going to call the segment about us reacting to Christians' reactions like a mass.
I mean, we could come up with some kind of like ritual that we could do that could be like a blasphemed witchy version of a mass.
We could
do that.
I feel like, and I don't know because I haven't tried it, but I feel like when it comes to live stream ritual, like the way that we do Shabayaldas is like we are doing the ritual. Like the people in person are doing the ritual, and like the people watching are participating via having their bibliomancy and their candle lit. You know, so that way there's some form of connection to the ritual as a whole.
Right.
But like when you're trying to have interaction from people watching the live and people doing the ritual, I think that can be kind of tricky. Like, I don't think it's impossible. I think it's a hurdle that like witches in the new era, we need to kind of work through because like technology isn't going anywhere.
Right. Unless we have some kind of apocalypse.
Even then, though. Even then, I don't think they could kill the internet.
Probably not.
The blonde one with the Christian hat.
Yeah, that was in the second episode, I think.
The blasphemy mass. It makes me think of like the Gnostic mass, but that is not something that can be live streamed.
No.
She claimed that she was a priestess and did evil yoga and attended a black mass, but gave no details. Yeah. That sounds about white. Yeah, when we were watching those Christian reactions, which I'm down to do more of those too. We just, we kind of felt like we needed to spice things up, bring something different to the table. But like, I love reaction videos. No, that's totally different. Huh? What?
I think they're commenting on the person, what Nocturnal said about the person claimed to be a priestess and did. I'm sorry, evil yoga has sent me.
Not the evil yoga, girl.
Can I do some evil yoga? Can I like dress up as a Disney villain and do some evil yoga?
It reminds me of that Doreen Virtue list of things that are like blacklisted by Doreen Virtue. And she talks about how like how mindfulness should be eradicated. Like she has all these things on there, right? Like tarot cards, oracle cards, crystals, yoga, Reiki, mindfulness. And I'm like, okay. So your God really just wants you to be a mindless zombie slave. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Understood.
Mikey says that the Gnostic Mass is totally different. Yeah, it is.
Very much so.
But I mean, we could make a mass.
We probably could.
Maybe if we have like an anniversary or something, we can celebrate like the anniversary of Daughters of Qayin with like a special black mass or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be kind of cute. And we can wear outfits. I'm very big into like the apparel.
I'm big into fashion, so I just happened to have this from a couple years ago.
Because she's into fashion. But this, guys, is actually, so this dress that she's wearing is actually the pinnacle of fashion.
Fashion. Holiday fashion.
The pinnacle.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have a whole rack of very cottagecore inspired clothes right next to me.
I feel like this, though, with like a blazer and a statement necklace, and you're ready to be the QVC lady talking about, oh, this is going to make a great gift. Oh, this right here? $14.99? Oh, this is a great gift. But yeah, so we're trying to keep the Daughters of Qayin streams to like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I think we're winter solstice spirits out.
I think it's great.
I think we covered it. And I would tell all of you at home, think about how you might work with these folkloric spirits. I think that's like a fun critical thinking exercise about like, okay, how like would we work with Grýla? Why would we not work with Grýla? Like definitely I think La Befana and Miss Petra are folkloric spirits. I think I would like to get to know more and maybe make like a cute little like shrine for them just to keep up during, if even just like the winter.
And if any of you make any La Befana or Frau Perchta shrines or anything like that, please show us.
Please. I need ideas. Maybe I'll put it up like around like the time of like the altar for the dead. But when I take the altar for the dead down, I'll keep them up through, you know what I mean?
Yeah, through like, I'd say
the Epiphany.
Like January 6th.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like an awesome idea.
And you guys, please also too, if you have any suggestions about things that you want us to cover, we're looking at trying to schedule stuff really for January now. So.
And stay tuned for the Lupercalia episode in February for Valentine's Day.
We're going to have to do that.
We have to.
We have to wear cute little ears.
Cute little wolf ears.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being part of this episode of Daughters of Qayin. Blessed be, and we'll see you in hell.